Car 51 team manager to race director immediately. What is going to come the way of Antonio Giovinazzi's Ferrari? Energy still going in. Away they go.
Here comes Alpine. Alpine passes the line as the Ferrari starts moving. This is going to be super close.
And the Alpine is on hot tyres. He's up to speed. There he is.
Got the run.
He's got to dive bomb the Ferrari now or never.
He's going to do it. He's got momentum. Round the outside he goes.
Takes the lead of the race.
Beautifully done.
That's all BOP, that is.
Oh, stop.
Exactly. Exactly. Fantastic stuff.
We're going to keep an eye on this one. Gentlemen, at this point, we are, what, 2.5 hours into this 6-hour race. This is an absolute WC classic developing here. No clue what's going to happen in the second half of this race at this stage. But as I've said before, a couple of teams that came in here very hot indeed are having to fight for their lives right now. Here comes the overtaking move, Ant Davidson.
Yeah, so the Alpine had a great run through that the first corner, gets in the slipstream, and Molina not really knowing where to place the car. He knew that the Alpine had the advantage in terms of momentum. Nothing he could do about it.
2 hours, 10 minutes into the 6 hours of Spa-Francorchamps. The lead battle in LMGT3 is that far apart, or prefer that close. It is Ian James, 27, Harter Racing. Celia Martin coming down the hill from La Source. She is within touching distance. Probably half what she can hear is Aston Martin exhaust noise rather than the noise of her own Porsche engine. She gets a good run through and climbing the Kemmel Straight. She's in the slipstream. She's not been better placed so far. Is she going to be able to look for the lead, Anthony?
Yeah, definitely having a look to the inside, come the end of this straight, got to be late on the brakes. Remember, ABS in these cars allow you to brake so deep into the corner, hence no lockups at all. The Aston just about hangs onto it there, but she's got the inside for turn 7 and makes it through. It's not over yet, though, because turn 8 opens up here down the hill, but she's got it covered. A great move. Utilised the speed through her ruse that you rightly picked up there, Martin, and got into the slipstream. You could see the rear wing shaking around in the turbulence. Brilliant stuff. So the Alpine's definitely got the speed here. Look, under threat already is the Ferrari before they even get to her rouge. And he's through. Amazing stuff. But that was a drag on the exit of the Source. But can Collado fight back?
You can hear the crowd cheering that move over the sound of the engines from that huge grandstand. Collado has got clear air now, but the speed of the Alpine, Fred Makovic used his advantage to his advantage. That's a phenomenal pass. Nevertheless, Anthony, still heart in mouth, wheel to wheel into Eau Rouge in any cars.
Absolutely. Look at that, how close it was against the wall and the Ferrari before committing to turn 4. Great stuff.
I've loved that one. 4.7 seconds, then is the gap. Nick Nielsen now to Fred Makovic, Ferrari 2, Alpine.
It was the traction he had on the exit of La Source that gave him this run fully into the slipstream, and then Collado's nothing that he could do for the Alpine to come through on the outside. A big old lift and bravery. You can see even the Hertz Team Jota crew in Cadillac thought that was on the limit.
Back with 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th in LMGT3. Kelvin van der Linde in the yellow and blue BMW, still pursued by Dennis Olsen and Ben Barker in the Mustangs, and Olsen shows his nose around the outside in the bus stop. Doesn't get through, but it delayed the BMW, have to ratchet up the brakes. Olsen alongside and right behind him, bump drafting Ben Barker 3 wide up to La Source. Somebody's going to come out of this in front, somebody maybe in the gravel, and Ben Barker is the man who goes into the gravel. 3 into 1 was never going to work there, but Dennis Olsen goes past the BMW down into Eau Rouge. That's a change for 4th. The BMW down to 5th. Up to 6th place is Yuichi Nakayama, and Ben Barker trying to make it 3 wide. So 15, Raffaele Marcello has served his second drive-through of his stint, neither that he earned, as we ride on board with James Collado, Antonio Giovinazzi rather, right up behind Fred Makovic, just trying to get alongside. Mako giving him a little less room than Phil Hansen, and here comes the Peugeot. Paul Di Resta, boom, up to 3rd. Now that is a good moment in the Peugeot garage to see them passing a Ferrari on pace. This, they've already said, the boys were saying this morning, the car feels so much better here than it did in Imola because the track suits it more. So vulnerable into turn 5, that's Lecombe. So, yeah, trying to give James Collard a little something. Mike Conway for position with the 94 car. Loic Duval goes the long way round the outside. Oh, look, he's creeping by the Toyota. Goes through. Well, that's a good one.
But Mike Conway was behind him anyway, so somehow Conway was the one finding himself on the attack there before Lasort. So, and here's the Ferrari under attack from the BMW.
Yeah, but Ferrari also trying to attack the Peugeot, but...
Done it, round the outside. What a great move.
Robin Frines.
He hangs on to that one. The thing is, if you overtake on the outside, then depends immediately down into turn 8. He's got that one covered, should have anyway. Ferrari tries to come back round the outside, but is politely squeezed out of room.
So understeery there, so steep downhill, and you're just scraping the tyre as you turn it.
Great bit of racing that from two hardened pros, because what happened in turn 5, if you go around the outside there at the top of Lecombe, it means that you're really compromised in turn 6. That's exactly what happened to the BMW.
Darren Lewin was actually chasing the number 31 BMW that he raced last year.
And won at Imola.
Yeah, indeed so. Oh, Kevin Magnussen now, real run up behind him from the Peugeot, Paul Di Resta.
It was a mistake there from K-Mag, and Di Resta, I think, has got the job done this time around. Less of a slipstream as well for the advantage of the car number 15. So Di Resta through, and Duval just about hangs on to that position as well. Hangs on to the position from the car 35 of Ferdinand Habsburg.
Rather wider Peugeot than it's homologation, I think, in that move there. There was real nose-to-tail stuff.
But it looked to me like Kevin Magnussen, I'm not sure what happened through Radion, the top of the hill, where just looked like he lost a lot of momentum. I think, did he have a bit of a sideways snap, or maybe these soft tyres are starting to give up on him? Maybe, yeah, so just watch the car in front of us. Yeah, too wide, over the curb, lack of momentum. Di Resta sees what's happened and chooses to the inside. Yeah, great stuff by Paul there.
Into the bargain, the fastest first sector of the race so far for Paul Di Resta on that run. So he just got it perfectly. Under about 50%, is either going to be compromised in terms of having to fuel save. There's a change. Is it?
Battle for position, yeah. Kevin Esch going very wide in La Source, and through comes Paul-Luc Chatin. That is a genuine pass for position, not on economy. How old are the Porsche's tyres? Now, we're expecting them to do 25 laps on fuel. Looks like they've stopped a lap early, and here comes René Rast on Phil Hansen down into Eau Rouge. And coming up behind him as well, quickly, is Will Stevens with the gold nose on the Cadillac.
He's got momentum up through Radion, gets alongside the Ferrari, making this look as if it could be easy into the braking zone at Lecombe.
It's only a matter of time, isn't it? The Porsche looks really susceptible here. Nico Müller doing the best job he can, but Bamber is climbing all over him.
Yeah, here we go. So Bamber's finally got the run that he needed on the exit of that final corner, and it's going to be side by side as they head towards the first corner, but there's a GT car in the way. Bamber can't brake where he wants to, but he still goes around the outside
and says, I'm staying on the track. And actually, fair enough, Nico Müller went, yeah, you've tucked me up like a kipper, and I know I'm going to get a penalty if I bounce you into the gravel. Job done. Earl Bamber picks up another spot. Just being handily in the way of the Ferrari as the number 20 BMW went through.
Let's remind everybody watching at home, Wingfoot Award from Goodyear.
Alex Lynn on the inside, and the Toyota just makes the corner.
Yeah, no contact, I don't think. He was very, very close. We call this Wingfoot Award because we missed it the once. Let's not miss it the second time. Side by side, we'll see whether or not Alex can do it around the outside here.
It's a tough one to do around the outside. I've seen it before with Hansen. De Vries gives him enough space, and it's going to be a drag race down towards Eau Rouge. Who's going to come out of this one on top? I've got a feeling it's Lynn. Yeah, De Vries just feathers out of it.